Well, hey guys, it's Patdees 72, and why is he wearing headphones? Well, the video that you're about to see is going to probably be about 25 minutes. It's going to be hard to edit and time it all together because I'm going to have to narrate it, because with my camera 2 weeks ago, I had just, luckily, when I went to see Taco Stacks, I had it working properly, but I went to a different area after that, to another flea market, and guess what? I must have hit a button because there's no audio. So people said just narrate it. So I generally don't do that. I've done it, a couple times. So this is why, do I throw away all the footage, or do I share it? So I apologize. Please, hey, like and subscribe to my channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. We're getting close to 1,000. What happens when you get to 1,000? Well, you can go live anywhere from your mobile device. So if you guys can help me push to that 1,000 mark, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye. Well, it's Patdees here, 72, and I'm having to narrate this because I hit the audio button. I didn't know it. So I guess I'm going to have to do a little lip reading at these moments to, know exactly what I said. But I guess I'll have some fun with this, and thank you guys for stopping in. But, okay, here I go. Well, I'm on my drive. I'm on my way. I'm going down to the flea market. Oh, I just turned the phone over. I'm screwed up again. I didn't edit that out. There goes a bunch of motorcycles. It's a beautiful, glorious day. I'm traveling down the highway. I know some of this highway driving is boring, but I just want to show you the beauty of the day. I'm heading down to a hometown area where I grew up to go to this indoor flea market that I heard about. I've actually been there before, but it's been a long time. Because I don't live in this area no more. I live about an hour north of it. So this is me on my way. I got excited because the weather had been raining so many weekends in a row, so it was just nice to get out. I know it looks like maybe I'm going 65 miles an hour in a 45, but I'm clearly doing the speed limit. Maybe I was 7 miles over, but don't tell anybody. And I apologize. I had the camera actually on the dash, so I need a better image stabilizer. So I'm pulling into this. This was an old factory that was a blouse mill at one time, and now it's an indoor flea market. That's the problem with a lot of these older buildings that are huge like that. They don't know what to do with them, or nobody wants them because it's dated. So here we go into the flea market. Obviously, you see flea market entrance. Oh, look at all the hanging plants. There was no doorman there. I always watch the Jeffersons, and they used to have that guy there with his hand out, always wanting $1 from George Jefferson. There's a Scarface poster. It was actually very slow at this flea market. I was kind of surprised. Maybe people were going more towards the outdoor flea markets that day. I already had been one. Sometimes when I do flea markets, I sometimes try to do 3 in like an 8-hour day. I'll start out sometimes at 7:30 in the morning, and it depends, because if the drive is stretched out over 90 to 100 miles, it makes it tough. But I was checking out what this indoor flea market is. They have individual booths that they set up, and so you can see that white cloth there. I don't know what was going on behind there, but actually they were closed probably. But I'm not sure how it worked, because some of the booths didn't even seem like they had a owner or an employee there. So maybe I don't know if there was a central cashier that you take up and they do it that way. I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat. That was a like cast metal. It looked like a dentist trying to pull that guy's teeth out. Checking out some. This place, I noticed that it had a lot of unique things, but it was higher than I would say an outdoor flea market. You know, a lot of these outdoor flea markets, they're cheap to stay there, $20 or $30, where these places probably have to pay, I would say, $50 or $80 a day rent. Or yeah, maybe some of those spots pay $500 for the month. This is just a total guess, but I would imagine because of using electric and things like that, the expensive, a little bit more expensive to set up a booth like this. So the prices tendency have to be higher. Where, you know, people at $20 a setup on an outdoor flea market are willing to kind of barter a little bit more with you. I don't mind a barter. I hate when I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Like if someone's pricing something at 20 and I feel it's only worth 7. I mean, where are you going to go? Because you're not even want to offer 15 because it's still over double what you want to pay. So sometimes you just got to, you know, politely pass and say, oh, okay, I'll think about it. So there was some neat military in that case there. A lot of little figurines, man. I wouldn't want to take kids into that section. You'd have glass all over the place. So, you know, one thing with these flea market videos, it's nice because you get out there and you really see a lot of the variety of things that are out there and available. And sometimes some things you're like, wow, someone actually bought this or paid money for this at one time. So I always said in this country, everything can be sold if just market it right. Well, you know what they said years ago, guy made millions on a pet rock. So anything that is marketed right or pushed can be sold. Yeah, which reminds me of like the fidget spinners, 2 years ago, and you know, kids were spending $5 to $10 on fidget spinners, and people had to have multiples of them and stuff. Well, here I must have been holding the camera wrong. Another amateur move there. I apologize. Nobody wants to look at my legs, nor do they want to look at the banana boxes. Again, normally I would chop this out, but trying to line up the narration with all this sometimes makes it a little difficult. So apologize for that. Now I'm looking at another area. Usually what I do is I'll stop the camera. I try to break it down into 3-minute segments so it is easier to edit. And frankly, there's a lot of stuff that is just not worth watching. Now, I'm sure there's some people saying thumbs down, thumbs down. Some of this ain't worth watching, but they had a big wall here of DVDs and VHS tapes. Look at that old jukebox. That's nice. That'd be, if you had a man cave or a big family room or something like that, it'd be neat to have. You could see as I'm walking through the place, and the place was pretty big. It was very slow, actually. I think the parking lot only probably had 15, 20 cars, and who knows, maybe, well, I mean, if there was 15 people walking through, yeah, you know, and maybe vendors parked in the back and stuff like that, but it wasn't overly busy. Look at this slot machine here. That was an old Coca-Cola crate, and I kind of thought about it. It was a cardboard with a plastic. Probably if I would have picked that up for $3 or $4, I would have bought it. You know, something like that though is a little big. Even if you sold it for $12 or $15, the shipping is sometimes going to kill you on that, because the size would probably, to ship that would be about $12. So, you know, it makes it difficult at times. Sometimes, actually, going on the road and doing these types of videos, you have the tendency to fall in love. You know, to some people, this stuff is just junk or things to sell. For me, I enjoy the hunt, and I like the value of some things, and sometimes I'll buy things and I'll keep them myself if it's a fair price, you know. Again, now I'm on the opposite side. You can see that whole wall there of movies and stuff stretched all the way in between. You know, I mean, there's thousands of DVDs and VHS tapes. That, you know, that's one thing I will say is there is obviously a glut of this type of stuff out there. So in most movies you can pick up for really anywhere from $1 to $5, depending on what they are. Yeah, I miss the old Blockbuster video stores because, you used to go in there and there would be movies on the shelf that you never even heard of, or you'd watch one of these movies and there would be an advertisement for a video that was just released. Now you don't get to see that. I don't go to the movies much because just frankly it's too expensive, $10, $12 a person to go to the movies, and if you're getting drinks and popcorn, I mean, a family of four can easily spend $75 just going to the movies when, Netflix is $15 a month. But, Netflix doesn't have all the movies. People don't realize there's thousands and thousands of movies out there. Looking at these old electronics, I like even looking at it. Doesn't necessarily that I'm going to buy it or try to resell it, but I'm just fascination how things work. Technology has come very far as the phone. It's replaced a lot of things, calculators, cell phones, your cameras, your big, remember those old the VHS cameras? I remember when I first started dating my wife, the grandfather had a big camera. I was looking at the baseball cards because I've bought and sold baseball cards, and I actually like to collect baseball cards. I remember going back to video recording. I had to carry that 8-pound camera on my shoulder, but I always enjoyed it because I always when I was a kid growing up, I never had many pictures of myself because my mom and dad didn't have their priorities straight, and I always said that when I met my wife when I was 16, and now we've been together over 31 years, that I would always capture a lot of memories and stuff with the kids. There's me not realizing I'm probably still filming. Again, I apologize. Okay, it's Patdees 72. I stopped it a couple minutes there because there was too much of me holding the camera down. I must have hit the button, had it on while I was walking, so I was able to stop it and chop that out to, I mean, come on, you can't watch 3 minutes of the floor, so, But here we are back again. We're looking at things. These were models for trains. I remember as a kid, we had a neighbor that used to set up in an apartment trains at Christmas time and a big platform and make these models, and it was a lot of fun to be able to go over to his house and kind of do that and play with the trains a little bit and knock the logs out or slide the milk or have the cows go on the I always liked that, it just and our first place that me and my wife ever got to live in, my older son Nathan, I had built I had a sheet of plywood and built like a little, and I still have the KFC plastic model. It was okay. I mean, for what I did, I mean, it probably still cost me about $150 to do that, and but I made like a little village and stuff like that. I would have loved to have done that again, but what happened was I got in the restaurant business and my time was consumed so much that I never had time to do many things, and that's what I actually like about what I'm doing now is a little bit more freedom, to do some of these things that, and I enjoy, again, the hunt and looking at vintage things and stuff. This booth was filled with, as you can see, Frank Sinatra there, filled with records. I was looking at this binder here, and there was Garbage Pail Kids cards in there and stuff, and they're from the 80s and stuff, and there was some Star Wars. I was trying to be honest, I asked him, is he selling the whole binder, but no, he said no, he was selling most of those cards, in all honesty, for about $2 a piece, so there was no way. I probably would have bought the binder for $20, and then I felt probably I could sell it for, $100 and put a couple cards together and stuff like that. But there's one of those situations like I talked about earlier. It didn't even pay to make an offer because he said he wasn't selling the whole book. He was selling cards individually, and you know, when people get that mindset that, let's say, oh, there's $300 worth of cards in there, even if it will take them 2 years to sell, they don't care. They're not going to budge, because to them sometimes it's more of a business. Sometimes at these other outdoor flea markets, you know, they've come from storage units or estates. They don't care. They haven't even looked at the stuff. They're just looking to grab the money and go. I don't know what kind of machine this was, but obviously I picked up the camera and honed in on it that it was pretty unique looking, and you know, again, this is where technology had to go. A lot of things are obsolete anymore. I remember years ago that people didn't even write checks by hand. They would, you know, if they had a business, they would insert a check in there and type into that machine how much they, you know, wanted that check to be, and, you know, press a button and it would imprint the dollar amount on the check. This guy had some albums here. Look, there's Michael Jackson off the wall, which, you know, depending, there's Jackson's Victory and stuff like that. Saturday Night Fever. I was looking at this one, Sanford and Son. I always liked that show, and it was funny. And I didn't even realize that they had these records. Here's the All in the Family. I don't even know if some of these shows that came in the 70s and 80s would be allowed to be on TV now, because everybody's got to be so politically correct. You know, those shows were funny. I don't think they were really that offensive as far as, you know, the dialogue that was going on in those shows. Sometimes good dialogue opens people's minds and makes you think about things and look at two perspectives and two sides, you know, and sometimes one side's not always right. And one thing I did enjoy about All in the Family is sometimes, you know, Archie himself needed his eyes open, and, you know, he was like many guys in this country that were closed-minded, and sometimes you need your eyes open. This guy, a lot of bear shelves here. Again, it's funny because you look at all the stuff in here, and man, I mean, probably a place like this, there's a good $1 million. You know, if you had $1 a piece, there's at least $1 million worth of inventory. This guy, I think I went into here. This guy had his shop. You could go out the side door, and he was buying and hustling, and he had a big variety of stuff. It seems like he does probably estate cleanouts or storage units. I saw somebody come in and actually sell him some games and stuff like that. So this guy is a guy that likes to turn things. And again, part of the problem here was a lot of the prices were just hard as a reseller to buy and resell. The item has to be so unique. I mean, I went on my phone a couple times. Generally, I know what stuff is at a flea market, what I can buy it for and sell it for. I mean, once in a while you'll be like let's say something's $20, and you're like, $20. Well, how much does it sell for on eBay? And if it sells for $29 on eBay, it's very difficult to kind of buy that, because now it looks like you're making $9, but you're not, because you have about $4 in fees, and that one item might have sold. So you got to kind of look what's listed, because there could be one sold for $29, but how many people are trying to sell it for $20? So there you are, you're buying an item for $20, and now you're going to have about $3 in PayPal and eBay fees, and you're going to sell it at a loss. And you know, to sell things at a loss is just a waste of time. You know. It's funny though sometimes to go look and see what people unearth from people's attics and basements and storage units. You know, I love these little golden holiday books. When I was like 12, 13 years old, I used to, oh, look who's watching. Look at those. Ooh, those deer didn't make it. But my grandmother used to have those books, and I used to remember sitting out on the sun porch and reading those books. And, you know, I don't know if kids really read books anymore. There's one of those you know, you put the insert in there, and then you can see the, you know, you click it 9 or 10 times and see the, I forget what they call it. I'm sure someone in the comments below can tell me exactly what they're called. And again, more DVDs and you know, movies and stuff like that. You know, here's something. They were little miniature, like soldiers and stuff like that. So sometimes it's neat to see things, because, you know, a lot of stuff comes even from out the country. When you find stuff from like Germany and Japan, you know, it's neat to see those toys, because they're not as common as, you know, they're not like in Walmart and stuff like that. Now a lot of toys, I think, that come out, you know, I don't know, are people collecting? It seems like, you know, that people give gifts or something as toys, and it lasts a year, and everything's a throwaway society. So when you're finding this stuff from 30, 40, 50 years ago, you got to remember there wasn't as many Walmarts and stuff like that. Yeah, there was Sears and stuff like that, but you know, you know, there was no eBay or Amazon, you know. See, now that I'm not sure. Scott, my friend, the bearded picker, maybe he would know if that's Pyrex. I've seen dishes like that before, but I don't know exactly. I wasn't willing to spend $45 on a dish. I mean, one crack or drop that, forget it. There goes $45. The Smurfs. I was always a fan of the Smurfs. That's a German. That was a German. I learned that when we went to Disney at Epcot, because they have in the area of the villages over there, they have, like, you know, Canada, Germany, and then in those shops they would have, oh, here's the Flintstones. Now that was always one of my favorite cartoons. The Flintstones were based after the Honeymooners. I don't know if anyone knows that. You know, the Honeymooners, you know, Ralph and Alice, Jackie Gleason, one of my favorite people. So I'm getting ready to leave here now. I didn't find nothing that kind of, yep, here I am talking, but you can't hear me. I mean, some people maybe don't want to hear me, but I felt like such an idiot later on when I went back and looked at the footage, and I had commented on the, you know, a couple chats, and they said, you know what, just narrate it, that, you know, even Craigless Hunter, who has over 100,000 subscribers, he narrates some of his stuff too. So I will try to do a better job next time, and I appreciate anybody who's sitting through this and has the patience to listen to me chat. So, you know, it's greatly appreciated, and I hope you guys can like this video. We got a couple more minutes. I'm going to show you a place I like to go in the area, very nostalgic looking. I stopped and got a sandwich at this place that's been there, it's probably 40, 50, probably since the 60s. You can tell, you'll see when you go in that it has a dated look, and but they make great. The father used to own it. I remember as a kid, the father used to go into the local bank, and he used to carry a toolbox, and I used to shovel snow at that bank. And I said to him one time, and it was his cash box. That's what he used. He had a toolbox, and he would carry it, you know, to go get his quarters and stuff like that. And that was his cash box. And nice guy. And now his kids run that restaurant, and we're friendly with them and stuff, and they know who I am, I know who they are, and I'm a very nostalgic guy, so when I stop down in the area, I like to stop in. So here's the place. It's Daisy. The place is called Daisy Restaurant. It's located in Wing Gap, Pennsylvania. They don't even have bathrooms. You have to go outside to like a back door to have the bathrooms. Actually, I had set the camera down on the ledge there and stuff like that. Just kind of want to show you a little bit of the, you know, the dated look of the place. They have a picture on the wall here, you'll see soon, showing the prices from 1970. I mean, look at that, a cheeseburger, 30 cents. There's the guy, that picture there was the father that I knew that used to carry the cash box and stuff. He's no longer with us. I'm not sure when he passed away, but here, look at ice cream, 10 cents, banana boat, 50 cents. hot dogs 20 cents, French fries 20 cents. I mean, here they could run a business in 1970 selling items for 20 or 30 cents and still make money. So this is sort of like a McDonald's setup. You get in line, and you order your food, and then you sit down and they call a number. And you have the cups here, orange and orange, large, medium, and small. Then you see there's a little number on there, 13, which is for me a good number because that's my wife's. My wife is born September 13th, so usually when I play the lotto, I play 6, which is my birthday, 13, my wife's birthday, 14, my son's, 22, our anniversary, and 26, our dating anniversary. I usually always like to play those 5 numbers. So this was me. I had just gotten this Ape Man, which is basically a cheaper version of the GoPro camera, and I had took this out wanting to, you have a lot more things that you can do with it than you can your cell phone because it's smaller and stuff like that. And this was really the first weekend I was testing it out, and as you can see, since I'm having to do the narration, I screwed up. This video is gonna soon be over for the people that have sat through the 20-25 minutes soon. So thanks for your patience. I just want to show you the sandwiches, which didn't help my diet. I mean, I'm still overall doing pretty good, but what I try to do if I eat more meat, I don't drink soda anymore. I gave that up years ago. So like I'll drink water. Now I had a bottle of water when I was here. It's funny sometimes when you're watching these, you don't realize how 40 or 50 seconds. That's why we edit these down. 40 or 50 seconds, man. You're sitting there like, come on, let's go. Let's have something happen. Get up on the table and dance or something, Waiting for that old guy in the orange hat to hang me the finger, but he's not even paying attention to me. Probably, maybe if I was a good-looking woman sitting over here, he would have noticed me, but. So my number's called. You can see his number was called. I had picked it up and stopped it, and then got up to go get my food, obviously. Now I know everyone's gonna say, Pat, you had to buy 2 of them. You can see there's my bottle of water. Deer Park. I got a sausage sandwich they make with like a pepper and onion sauce and a cheesesteak. So. Hey guys, thanks for taking your time out to watch this. My name is Patdees72. If you can like and subscribe to my channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.